Hi, welcome back into my kitchen. I'm Holly Morrison with the Goshen team, and we are here to do a requested video from our viewers. So I think I mentioned somewhere along the line that I've made gummy bears before, and I have. Oh, it seems like it's something we do periodically. Like we'll at least do it once a year for several months, and then we burn out and we do something different. But our viewers were asking for some gummy bear recipes. So we've been tinkering, and my kids have been helping me in the kitchen, and we have come up with 3 recipes that I'd like to share with you today. This is the first of 3 recipes. This one is a lemon pucker gummy. And what is healthy about this gummy? It's loaded with vitamin C naturally, because we're going to use the lemon and the lemon zest of our organic lemons. And it's loaded with collagen. And they're cute as heck, and your kids are going to wear them out. Now, I typically in my home default to sugar-free. It's just easier because there's plenty of times where we visit and we get sugar. So we're going to be using monk fruit today. And I have been using this in my kitchen now for a while just to kind of get the groove on. I've used it with blends. I don't like the blend ones because there's always some kind of compromise. There's always a little ingredient in there that's just not so great. So this one's 100% pure monk fruit, organic, and it's really doing a good job. It's not as sweet as stevia, and we're used to stevia. But I have a lot of friends that they just happen to have that gene where they hate stevia. So I wanted to make sure we kind of try some other things. Now, of course, you can do any sugar that you want. You can use a sugar substitute like this. You can use Manuka honey, which would do great. It's going to definitely add a different taste. It's going to taste more honey because these recipes are super concentrated. So when you add honey to it, it's definitely going to be a little bit different, and I'll put that in the recipe below, the variation that you'll do, because you'll pull back a little bit of your liquid when you're adding another liquid in, because once that dissolves, it's going to be a liquid. All right, and you want your gummies to be gummy, so that's our goal. We want them to taste good, we want them to be healthy, and here we go. We're going to jump in. This is my lemon pucker one. Okay, so this one I would love to show you, and I'm just going to kind of work them a little bit to get these juicy, but my family ate them all. This was definitely the favorite. The second favorite was the Tart Cherry one that had elderberry in it. So that was really good. And you can add, we're going to put elderberry in one of our recipes, but you can add that elderberry syrup. And it does have a little bit of sugar, but it is organic. And that just ends up being part of your sweetener. So you just don't add much else as far as sweetener goes. You can add that to any of these recipes, but this one we're showcasing the lemon. And we're gonna zest it because tenfold the nutrition is in that lemon. Like just doing this, my hands smell amazing. So this is our juicer. I highlighted that in a different video. I'm not sure if that one's come out yet, but this is a great little lemon juicer. So we're gonna start with zesting. And we're gonna do the zest of both of these oranges. And if you get a little bit of the white, that's okay. That's called the pith, the bitters. Be careful, this is like a gazillion little razors that are down here. So I have been zesting for decades. I love zest. My gallbladder loves zest. Our bodies love zest. So, you know, be careful, don't get hurt. And I am that girl, I like to get every little bit of the lemon. And I haven't cut myself in a long time, but if I'm in a super big hurry and I'm trying to microplane some garlic, isn't that beautiful? I wish you could smell that. It's just thebomb.com. All right, so we're gonna do our other lemon, and then we're gonna juice them, and that's gonna make up the bulk of the liquid. So before we juice them, we're going to get some water in a bowl, and we're going to bloom our gelatin. And that's the key thing to make gummies, is you've got to bloom your gelatin, and you've got to do it properly. So we're going to heat up part of our liquid so that we can add our bloom gelatin in, and that's what activates it and makes it just nice and shiny and pretty. And if you do it carefully, you won't have any weird bubbles, because sometimes you can get bubbles. Okay, so that's it. We're gonna juice that. We're gonna put all of that zest into this bowl, and then we're gonna juice those and put that in there also. But right now we're going to add a couple of ounces, and I'm going to use this because it's got a little measuring tool. So I'm going to measure off a couple ounces of water. That's 1 ounce. That's 2 ounces. Went a tiny bit over, so I'll put that back in. And we're going to put in some of our, I'm going to get any lemon zest in. Okay, so I'm glancing just to make sure I'm remembering. Yep. So we're going to put in 1 serving of gelatin. Actually, I'm going to do a serving and a half. So I'm going to do a tablespoon, and these little measures exactly a tablespoon. So I'm going to do a tablespoon and a half because we're going to do 2 lemons, and that's going to produce at least 2 ounces of liquid. And the cool thing about gelatin, and I didn't really show you up close, but let me show you up close. If you do this right, it makes little waves. You see the little waves? Looks like the ocean. And you want to put this on there lightly, so you're dusting it on. Like if you just drop this all in the middle, you're gonna get a clump. And I mean, you probably could redeem it, but it's pretty much gonna be a waste. So that's gonna sit there and bloom is what they call it. And it just means we're hydrating the gelatin. Put our lid back on over here for a moment. Okay, now we're going to juice our lemons. So we're just going to cut them, and this little juicer is so nifty. It comes apart, so when your seeds get in there, you can just take it apart, tap your seeds back on the counter, and keep on going. So, and the cool thing about this juicer is it fits in your hand perfect, and it gets all the juice. I mean, kid you not, there is no juice left in that lemon when you are done. And I love that it measures so that you don't have to put it in something else. So, I mean, there's nothing left of that. And it just fits in your hand perfectly. And I love lemons. Lemons and my body get along great. Now I probably, I'm gonna use all of it no matter what. Hold on, let me just see where we're at. Yeah, that was a little bit over. So that was probably about 1.5 ounces. So that line right there says 1 ounce. And it was just a tiny bit over. There's maybe like 1/8 of a teaspoon there. So that's 1.5 ounces. And that's the beauty of this. You just, when you're using real ingredients, sometimes a lemon doesn't do what you expect it to do. Now this one has a lot of seeds, so this one's probably not going to do near as much juice. This one had like no seeds, and it made a mountain of juice. This one's making hardly none. Now my seeds I probably should have gathered. Yep, it's almost there. Hold on. This one has a lot of pulp that's coming through. Yeah, there we go. Nifty. Oh my gosh, I love this thing. All right, and then we're gonna do the last of it. And this was my family's favorite. Yes, it's a labor of love. It is, I'm not joking. But my 6-year-old is not a giant fan of collagen in any form, but boy, she loves this. And she did like the other one too, so we're gonna do the other flavor also. All right, it might spill a little, so I'm gonna open it. Yep, that one's actually right at about a little over 1 ounce. And then all you do to get your seeds out is you just tap it on here, and it's clean and it's ready to go for the next time you need lemon. So now I'm gonna actually pull back a little bit of this because our other 2 recipes call for a tablespoon. Hold on, thought I had a dish. Yep, I'll just use that one. We're gonna pull out, and it's just to make it more tart. So that'll be for our other recipes. All right, so now what we're going to do is put all this together. Now we have to get our sweetener in. And the key is, how does it taste once it's cooled down? So we're gonna combine these, and as you can see, this is pretty dusty, a little bit on top. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of my lemon juice and put it on top, and we're gonna work it around because we want all that dustiness to go away. We want this to be shiny, which means it's completely bloomed. There we go. And we can put a little more liquid on that. This is all gonna end up going into our saucepan. There we go. I'm gonna grab my spoon, and here is our saucepan. Now we're still gonna add our sweetener. We're adding a liquid in with all that amazing zest. All right, and then here is our bloom gelatin, which is like just like a wedge of Jell-O. And it's going in. And then we're gonna go to the stove, and we're gonna very gently heat this. We don't want it bubbling or simmering. We just want to, once that Jell-O is dissolved, turn it off, take it off the burner, and we're gonna let it cool a little bit and get it in our little squeezy bottles. All right, so I've turned my stove on to like a medium high. So you have little chunks and they're just dissolving. It melts just like butter. See how that's just turning into hardly nothing. And that's pretty much done. So I'm gonna give it about 10 more seconds because I don't want any lumps. And even though we've bloomed it, this is the completion of the blooming process. So if you don't bring it to heat, then you do not have gelatin. All we're doing now is adding our sweetener. I added 15 drops of the monk fruit. We're gonna count it out real quick. All right, I think we're there. Now, please taste. Make sure it tastes good to you. Don't just do my recipe. And our family doesn't eat a lot of sugar, so we're not used to a lot of sweetness. So that might not be enough sweetness for you, or you may wanna do honey in this. Okay, so the other thing is too, that there's a variation to this that you can do with orange. You can do any citrus, kid you not. But you can also add a couple of teaspoons of magnesium calm, and you've now turned your gummy into a magnesium supplement. So a couple of teaspoons is the serving. I wouldn't put more than 2 teaspoons in this volume because it would just overpower it. And you can go orange. You could do orange zest and orange all the way through. Just make sure you're tasting it before you put it in your mold, because once it goes in the mold, the flavor will slightly concentrate, but it won't get better. It will only be about the same. So just make sure it's tasty to you right now. But that's a wonderful way to add magnesium to it. All right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take our cooled down liquid and we're gonna put it in this cute little squeezy bottle. Yes, the affiliate link will be below. And it's the good plastic. Yes, there's like letters to it. We're not gonna worry about that. We all know that Holly sometimes mix up letters, so we're just not even gonna go there. So these are adorable. I've already broken them in. We have some other molds, but they were not the healthier plastic. So we want the healthier. So we just keep trying, we keep improving. So we're gonna take this and transfer it into here. You'll see why in a minute. I'm gonna show you how to do this. This little guy right here comes with your mats. And you're gonna fill it up. And my kids did it. They thought it was awesome using this little squeezy thing. Personally, I do not want to fill up a dropper for all gazillion of those cute little bears. So I'm going to take mine and I'm gonna put it in my little nifty squeezy bottle. And I love these things. I use them for all kinds of stuff. I think this is a 4-ounce bottle, so that means we really did the recipe correct. Because that's your goal, is you wanna keep your overall liquid correct. Otherwise, the amount of gelatin you put in will not work. And instead of gummy bears, you made Jello. So here we go. Now, we do have zest in here, so you wanna kinda keep it mixed up. Now watch this. Don't you agree? It's worth buying these little inexpensive squeezy bottles, and I think it comes in an 8 count. Trust me, you'll find something else to do with it. I have. This is my last 2 bottles, so I'm like, I'm gonna be ordering some more of these. And look how quick. All right, now we obviously took a lot of time on this batch. The next batch, we're not gonna spend as much time and do every little bit. Hold on, I'm just taking a little out of that one too. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put that in my freezer to let it set up so that you can see us taking them out of the mold. And honestly, once they're done, you don't need to worry about what to do to keep them from going bad because your family is gonna wear them out and they're gonna be gone. So I'm gonna tuck these in the freezer and we're gonna come back and make the Tart Cherry elderberry ones. All right, we are jumping into our final recipe. This one, by a landslide, everybody loved. So nobody didn't like the lemon because they were all gone, but it was the first recipe I made, but I still think it was my favorite. But once we made this, everybody was like, this is amazing. So our main ingredient is gonna be organic Tart Cherry concentrate. Delicious, great for your body, great for cardiovascular health. It helps you sleep, promotes sleep. Anybody that you know that's struggling with gout, they often talk about cherries, putting frozen cherries that are in your smoothie or to get the concentrate or cherry juice, but you want the Tart Cherry, which is delicious. So it just makes this such a sour gummy. So it's so yummy, yummy, yummy. You're gonna love it. It has a little bit of sugar, but it's just natural sugar because it's super concentrated. The other thing we're gonna add is black elderberry syrup, which is great for fighting viruses. So this is your ounce of prevention. So you're consuming these daily. They're just great for keeping your immune system ready for winter, handling winter great, all of the above. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get our water in here. I'm going to use this cute little measuring guide because it just keeps me on track. And we're going to have 3 ounces of water with this. So it's a little bit more volume overall. And I probably will actually have more than what I can fill up in here, but those pop out super fast, and I'll just put the rest in the rest of the gummies that way. So, all right. So we're gonna go in and bloom 2 tablespoons of gelatin with this one. All right, so this is just gonna sit for a moment while we pull the rest of our ingredients together. All right, so what we're adding now, and shake this for sure, is we're gonna add 3 tablespoons. Let me check because I wrote it all down. Nope, 4 tablespoons. Yep, I added an extra tablespoon at the end. That smells so good. All right, and then we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of this elderberry concentrate. And a serving of this is a teaspoon. So needless to say, you're fine if your kids have a bunch of gummies. All right, and then put my lid over here. We're gonna go on and get our lemon juice in. All right, and then we are actually going to add just a tiny bit more water, but not much. And then the sweetener is to taste. I would put about 10 more drops in, even though this has sweetener in it naturally. I mean, it's just cherries have sugar. And this one does have an added sweetener to it. So now what we're gonna do is we've got to get our dust off the top. Same thing as we did last time. So that's just about there. What we're gonna do is gonna put everything in our saucepan, and we're gonna do a gentle heat up. Now we're gonna get all this in our bottle. Look at that color, isn't that pretty? The taste matches the color. It's delish. You do not want it on your clothes though. All right, so yeah, I told you this one's gonna be a tiny bit more. And of course you let it cool before you put it in your bottle. Even though these are healthier plastics, I still don't like to put anything hot on a plastic. So this is gonna go in my freezer, and only just so I can speed up the process. You really could just put it in your fridge, and honestly, they'll congeal on the counter. Alrighty, we have got gummy bears galore, and we're gonna have some happy kids, happy parents, because they're gonna have to share some. So these are the ones that we made last night. They're kind of cute. And now I'm gonna show you how to get these little babies out. So these were done first, because we did them first. So you're just gonna push from the bottom. Your kids are great for this. And if you don't have kids, then you get to do it. Now these are the lemon pucker ones. These are the orange ones that I was telling you about. So they look a little different in color. If you love lemon, you're gonna love these. Your kids are not gonna go for this, I'm just telling you. And like I said, they will dehydrate a little bit and they get even tastier. So if you leave them open on a plate in your fridge, in my house that doesn't mean they're safe. But if they actually could stay there for a couple of days, they get less wet and they dry out. And then the flavor, all the flavor does is concentrate. So I'm chewing up a gummy and it wasn't broken, so I had no excuse. But golly, thanks for coming into our kitchen. Thanks for checking out our recipe on how to collagen load in a fun way through our lovely orange and lemon and tart cherry pucker. They're all just pucker, to be honest with you. They're all just delicious. I kind of sound British, don't I? Anyway, so come and collagen load with our recipes. Hey, we're on Instagram. Please tag us anytime you do any of our recipes. Take a picture and tag us so we can communicate with you that way. It's so nice to see your faces and to be able to just check out what you're up to and how these recipes are impacting your health. And the sky is the limit. I can't wait to see what y'all are producing. And we're just gonna jar these up and keep them in our mason jar. And actually I'm gonna take some over to Adam and Leslie's house because the kids are waiting on their portion of gummies. But thanks for coming by. God bless you.